Yo, what is going on, guys? So it is time to break down the second champion coming in April, their abilities. So we have Storm Pyramid X. So this will be the second champion that comes in April, on April 23rd at 10 a.m. PST. She enters the contest. So Storm Pyramid X's mechanics. The two most important elements of Storm Pyramid X's kit. I think we should just call her Pyramid or something like that. Simplify. And I think the other champ, the Sorcerer Pyramid, I'm just gonna call her Sorcerer and Pyramid. That's what I'm gonna probably refer to them as. So Pyramid X's kit are Prowess and Tempest. Tempests are selected in a pre-fight screen and provide her with immunities, passive abilities, and special attack bonuses. Prowess effects empower her abilities provided by Tempest. When playing as Storm Pyramid X, players should focus on building as many Prowess effects as possible before unleashing devastating special attacks. So here we have her prestige, and so this is based on a rank 3 6-star for the last one. So at 5-star, 10,620, which is good. It's not like amazing, but it's good. It's not like Doom or Silver Surfer level, but it's good. And then as a 6-star, rank 3, it's 13,660, which again is good. It's not like crazy. It's not as high as Sunspot and Namor's, but it's still good. So she's a mutant, of course. So basic abilities: Ice Tempest, Lightning Tempest, Prowess. So she has two different Tempests, and you can activate them both in a fight, and before the fight starts, you can choose which one you want to start with. So strengths: Glancing. While Storm's Ice Tempest is active, she has one of the strongest glancing abilities in the game, with a 60% chance to cause all incoming basic attacks to glance. Glancing hits cannot be critical, have 50% reduced damage, and prevent the opponent's offensive ability accuracy by minus 100%. So, and just guess which phase she's going to start with when you're fighting against her, like on defense or something. She starts in the Ice Tempest phase. So that'll be lots of fun fighting the glancing. So X mechanic of one of her strengths is Stun. So while Storm's Lightning Tempest is active, she has access to a small chance to stun the opponent on hit. This stun provides windows for Storm to either reset her combo to gain more power, or to charge her heavy attack for a powerful prowess effect. If fighting an opponent who purifies stun debuffs, Storm will apply a passive stun instead. So I like that, but I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. Like if it's just when you're fighting champions that have a chance to shrug, if it'll be a passive stun, or if it'll like apply a stun debuff, and then if it gets shrugged, it'll turn to a passive stun. I'm not sure like how the mechanic of that is going to work. But it sounds cool. And then we have energy damage. All of Storm's attacks are energy damage. If fighting opponents with lots of physical resistance, Storm will cut through them quickly. That's cool. Because I know there's a really annoying node in War that has like a bunch of physical resistance, or just when there's like 90% physical resistance node, it's kind of crazy. So that's cool. And some weaknesses. So Power Lock and Power Drain. If Storm is affected by Power Lock or Power Drain, her Tempests are removed and she can no longer gain Prowess. When fighting against Storm as a defender, removing her Tempests are the key to defeating her. So it sounds like you want to use someone who can Power Lock or Power Drain, kind of similar to Havoc, how you want to fight him, or when you Power Drain him, you take away all of his stuff. So, Nullify, another one of her weaknesses. Storm gains Prowess buffs whenever either champion gains a bar of power. If she has 6 Prowess active when launching a special attack, she becomes unblockable. While Nullify won't remove the Tempest, they will at least slow her down and prevent her from going unblockable. So, 6 Prowess effects. When activating a special attack, she becomes unblockable. That's cool. I love champs that have access to some unblockable ability. And then low health, another one of her weaknesses. Storm has a lower health pool than most champions to compensate for her powerful glancing mechanic. If her Tempests are removed, she should go down very quickly. So the following stats and abilities are based on a rank 5, level 65, 5-star champion. So passively, Storm's basic attacks deal energy damage instead of physical, which is good. She has 1400 energy resistance, just base, which is nice. And if the opponent purifies a stun debuff, she replaces it with a passive stun lasting. Okay, so alright, well that answers my question I asked before. So if it gets purified, it's replaced with just a stun passive right away. Okay, that's cool. I like that. I mean, I've read through these before. I guess I must have just missed the exact wording on that, but that's cool. I like that. And so the prefight ability to the Tempest. So by default, Ice Tempest is selected, which again is the one where you glance. So if selecting a different Tempest in the pre-fight screen, it becomes the new default. Default Tempest can be switched once per fight. So this kind of confused me, but after reading over it a few more times, I figured it out. So it basically just means, like, before you go into the fight, you choose which one you want. And in the fight, you can activate both Tempests, but whichever one is your default, you'll have that one throughout the whole fight. And the other one, you can only get like a limited time duration on it. But the one that's your default, it'll be there for the entire fight. That's how my understanding to it. So when power locked or power drained, Tempests are removed for 8 seconds. Activation of Tempest is unaffected by ability accuracy. So I love that, because like Domino can't make a critical failure. I hate when that happens, when she just makes your abilities fail. So if it's not affected by ability accuracy, that's a good thing. So Ice Tempest, gain immunity to Cold Snap and Frostbite, and incoming basic attacks have a 6% chance to glance. Glancing hits cannot be critical. We already went through the whole glancing thing, but so you get immunity to Frostbite and Cold Snap, so that's cool. So you'll obviously want to use this pre-fight Ice Tempest if you're fighting like an Iceman. Be immune to his initial Cold Snap, that's great. And then we have the Lightning Tempest. So decrease the potency of incoming shock effects by 100%, and each active prowess adds 2% chance to stun the opponent on hit for 0.9 seconds, max 16% chance. So the Lightning Tempest could be useful so it gives you 100% resistance against shock. So you'll still get the shock on you, but it'll just deal no damage, similar to like Silver Surfer, which is good, because then you'd heal from it like with willpower. So yeah, it's an immunity, but like you still get it on you, which is honestly better sometimes, most of the time. Like Omega Red with his whole bleed resistance, it's way better that way than just being straight up immune to it. So when knocked down, this is one of the ways to gain both Tempests. So when knocked down, if not already active, Storm activates her alternate Tempest for 12 seconds. Duration is paused during heavy attacks and special attacks. So again, this was kind of confusing when I first read this. I was like, wait, so do you switch Tempests? Or because you can only do it once per fight? But no, so pretty sure how it works. When you get knocked down, you activate whichever Tempest is not your default, and then you'll have both of them active, but only for 12 seconds through this way. And there's 3 ways to activate both Tempests, and this is the really non-ideal way, because being knocked down means you have to get hit by a heavy attack or a special attack. And with her glancing ability, I mean, maybe, but yeah, I'm probably not going to be doing that too often. You don't really usually want to get knocked down on purpose. So Prowess, when either champion fills a bar of power, so each Tempest generates 1 prowess, increasing the next special attack damage by 40%. The first 3 prowess buffs last indefinitely. Additional prowess buffs last 10 seconds, max stack of 12. So whenever either champion gains a bar of power, so that's good. It's going to be happening quite often. You get an L1, the opponent gets an L1, boom, you get 2 prowess effects. So 3 can be permanent, and then the rest will start to have a duration on them. If Storm has 6 prowess effects during a special attack, gain a passive unblockable for 1.8 seconds. So it's a passive and not a buff. It's good to know. Developer note, something to watch out for here is that if at any point during a special attack Storm hits 6 prowess, she will become unblockable. If Storm is sitting on 5 prowess, then pushes her opponent over a bar during a special attack, she will gain her 6th prowess and become unblockable midway through the special attack. Storm Special 1 utilizes this mechanic, because I'm pretty sure the L1 has a lot of hits to it, so that could happen. And then yeah, you could get the unblockable, have to be careful. So heavy attacks, charging a heavy attack creates a dormant prowess which charges from 0 to 100%. So this is kind of weird. So launching a special attack while charging a heavy attack converts this dormant prowess into a passive prowess, increasing the special attack damage by up to 100% based on how long the heavy attack was charged. So a developer note, this ability might read a bit strange. It's the first time we have used animation canceling as a mechanic for a champion. While you're charging a heavy attack, there will be a gray prowess icon on screen. Without releasing your finger from the screen, tap the special attack button to launch a special attack and convert the gray prowess icon into an actual prowess. So yeah, this is really, really weird, man. But it could be a really strong way to get a big bonus to your special attack damage, because this prowess, most prowess increase your special attack damage by, I believe it was 40%, Yeah, 40% here. And this one can increase it by up to 100, but it depends on how long you charge the heavy for. So it could be kind of a risky play, but it could be worth it in some scenarios. So let's go over her special attacks. So special 1, Cloudy with a Chance of Pain. Storm calls forth a hailstorm of ice directed entirely on her unfortunate opponent. Inflict a passive slow for the duration of the special attack. Note, passive slow. I think this is the first time we're getting a passive slow in the game. Normally slow are debuffs, but that's really, really interesting. So, preventing the effects of Unstoppable and lowering evade ability accuracy by 100%. Opponents with a natural class advantage cannot be slowed. So, unfortunately, it's only for the duration of the special attack, but this could be useful, if you're fighting, I don't know, just the L1, it can't be evaded. So that's cool. No one can evade the special attack 1. And if your opponent is unstoppable, you'll get rid of the unstoppable. So it's interesting. It just seems like a good way to reliably get off your special 1. But interesting that it's a passive. And then, so if you have your Ice Tempest active, I think you have to have it active for it to work here. Each hit that contacts the opponent generates 1 prowess buff, increasing special attack damage by 10% for the remainder of the special attack. Additionally, the final hit inflicts a cold snap, dealing 19, almost 2,000 injury damage over 14 seconds. So, like I said, I think the L1 has a few hits to it. So, because Storm calls forth a hailstorm of ice, I think there's going to be a couple of hits. And yeah, each hit you get a prowess buff for 10%, and so it'll be easy to get your L1 to be unblockable. So it should be interesting. I'm really excited to see the animations on this Storm, actually. And then, so while the Ice Tempest is active, Storm can apply a passive Cold Snap. Champions who purify debuffs or have immunity to debuffs will be affected by Cold Snap. Cold Snap also prevents the activation of Evade. So, for example, Corvus, who's immune to Cold Snap debuffs, he will take damage against this because it's a passive and not a debuff. So that's interesting that they're passive effects here. Then we have the L2, when toads meet lightning. Storm channels a conduit of electrical force before discharging a rapid burst of lightning, obliterating everything in its path. Each hit inflicts a shock debuff, dealing almost 2,000 damage over 9 seconds. If the opponent purifies any of these shock debuffs, deal a burst of damage of almost 2,000 instant shock damage instead. That's cool. And then lightning. So if you have the Lightning Tempest, shock damage is increased by up to 90% based on the opponent's current power. Additionally, each prowess reduces the opponent's defensive power rate by 25% up to a max of 100%. We got a developer note here. So while Lightning Tempest is active, the special attack can be launched safely regardless of how much power the opponent has if playing aggressively. Storm Pyramid X can launch a special attack while the opponent is near 3 bars of power to almost double the damage. So as long as you have at least 4 prowess effects active, the opponent's going to get no power from this attack. And the more power that they have, the harder that this special 3 can do. More damage it can do. So it's kind of like how the current Storm is. The more power, the more attack damage you get on your specials. So I think we could see some pretty big numbers on this L2. I'm excited to see those big yellow numbers. And then so we have the special 3, Accelerated Climate Change. Storm demonstrates her absolute control over the elements by conjuring a devastating localized storm. Witness the true power of an Omega level mutant. I love the sound of that, because like Storm, she's a really powerful mutant, but the Storm we have right now sucks. Same with Magneto. I'm pretty sure Magneto's an Omega level mutant, but he sucks. I hate that. So if both Tempests are already active, Storm increases her attack rating by 3,600 during the special attack. After the special attack ends, Storm activates her alternate Tempest for 35 seconds. This duration is paused while charging heavy attacks and launching special attacks. So this is going to be the easiest way to activate both of your Tempests, just using an L3, and it's active for 35 seconds. So 35 seconds is quite a long time. You should be able to get close to another special 3 in that amount of time. So you could have a very big uptime on both of the Tempests. I've got a developer note here. By launching a special 3, Storm gains both Tempest. Each Tempest provides 1 prowess whenever either champion gains a bar of power. If players can keep both Tempests up during or through an entire fight, Storm's potential special attack damage is doubled. So, yeah, man, this could be actually nuts, because if you get both Tempests, every time you go over a bar of power, it's 2 prowess instead of 1 for either time you or the opponent is pushed over a bar of power. And then additionally, with the special 3, if you have both Tempests active, you get a 3600 attack increase on the special 3. So with all those prowess, bro, you could get some really, really big L3s going and just keep that cycle going. It could be pretty crazy. And now, so I said there's 3 ways to activate both Tempests in a fight. So we've gone over 2, the first one being knocked down, the second one using an L3. Now for the third one, so the signature ability. While below 30% of her maximum health, Storm activates both Tempests. So kind of like a Nick Fury vibe here, that you can get off some of your most crazy damage potential while at that low health threshold. But I like that that's not the only way. Just using the L3 is another easy way to get it. You don't have to feel like you have to drop your health low just to get the crazy damage. So, developer note, when fighting against Storm, be prepared for the final 30% of her remaining health. She's going to be gaining more prowess, more unblockable, and have a chance to stun on hit. I really do recommend bringing a champion with power lock or power drain. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough fight. So that's pretty much all of Storm's abilities. She sounds pretty crazy. She sounds like she has some pretty good potential, man. I'm excited. The L3 cycle sounds pretty interesting. Just getting that loop going. Then we also have a couple of synergies to talk about here. So, Champions of Battle World with Sorceress Supreme. Opponent nullify effects suffer minus 50% ability accuracy. That's for your prowess. It can kind of protect your prowess buffs. And then we have set up and spike with Bishop. So prowess buffs last 4 seconds longer. Just a way to get maybe a higher amount of prowess effects, because they'll start to fall off once you have more over 3. Bishop gets every 15 seconds generate a power gain buff, granting 20% of a bar of power over 5 seconds. While this power gain buff is active, each prowess increases special attack damage by an additional 3%. I'm not the biggest Bishop player, but that sounds pretty good. And then we have Under the Weather with regular Storm. So Pyramid X, alternate Tempest activated by Storm Special 3 lasts 8 seconds longer. That's cool. That would put it to, what is that? 30. So I would put it to 43 seconds. I think you could cycle L3s within 43 seconds if you're playing aggressive enough. And then OG Storm gain up to 100% shock, cold snap, and incinerate resistance based on stored power. When I first read that, I didn't read just the first line, gain up to 100% shock, cold snap, and incinerate resistance. So I was like, oh, really? And then I'm on stored power. I'm like, oh man. So you have to have an L3 to be fully immune to them. But while suffering from a shock, cold snap, or incinerate debuff, Storm special attack damage is increased by 30%. So it's an interesting synergy for Storm. I hate that it's based on stored power. It's kind of like a Blade type vibe, where the more power he has, the faster he shrugs off debuffs. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting here. But yeah, it's all right. But I don't really see a reason to use OG Storm for when you have the new Storm on a team. It's why. And then we have the Kingdom of Wakanda with Black Panther Civil War, and Killmonger. Bleed debuffs inflicted on the opponent lasts 30% longer. That could be really, really nutty for Killmonger. Stack up for 30 or 50 of his bleeds, man, and now they lost 30% longer. Those are some of the biggest bleeds possible in the game, and you can make them 30% longer. That's pretty good. As far as Black Panther Civil War, he sucks, and OG Black Panther, that could actually be pretty good for him. He gets a lot of bleeds, so yeah. And then we have a Spider Guild with Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Evade ability accuracy is increased by 30%, and after activating Evade, inflicts stun for 2 seconds. Both of these effects enter cooldown for 12 seconds after the stun is activated. It's kind of an interesting one. I don't see it being too useful, but then we have Mutant Agenda with Bishop, Wolverine, and Colossus. Mutant landed strikes during special attacks gain plus 12% attack rating. Then we've got some recommended Masteries block proficiency. So it says right here, Storm Pyramid X has a higher than average block proficiency to help compensate for her lower health pool, which I love. I love champs with good block proficiency. Increasing her block proficiency further will minimize the risk when fighting without glancing active. Then we have Stupefy. Stupefy will extend her on-hit stun provided by the Lightning Tempest, giving her some more time to charge her heavy attack prowess. Yeah, of course, always run max Stupefy. Always run max block proficiency and always run parry. So recommended mastery. I mean, they're pretty standard, but parry will be an essential tool to mitigate block damage, provide openings for storm, heavy attack prowess. So yeah, as far as the recommended masteries go, you should all be running those at least 1 point in all of them anyways. But yeah, she seems pretty cool. As far as which one I'm excited for more, definitely get more excited for the Sorcerer Supreme. She seems just pretty crazy and right up my alley. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if you have any further questions about Storm here. And tell me, which one are you more excited for? If you didn't already see the breakdown video on Sorcerer Supreme's abilities, there'll be a link down below in the description. Go check her out. She's even cooler than Storm, in my opinion. But yeah, we got some pretty cool April champs coming. And I do have a Mutant Tier 5 class catalyst and a Mystic Awakening gem. So might have to go for some of these champs as 6 stars. Who knows? But that's going to do it. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy. Subscribe to like some more content. Thank you so much for watching.